So for Libra rising, this is taking place in your fifth house of personal and creative expression, of hobbies, of enjoyment, of the types of media and culture that you enjoy to engage in, of your children, also of your childhood, of play and speculation and sports and physical activities, things all along these lines. So what you're likely to experience with Pluto in Aquarius is a major focus on authentic self-expression, as well as the psychological impact of open expression. So especially if there's anything from your childhood, any sort of psychological residues there, in particular, if those have played out in ways which inhibit you. For one thing, digging into that and dealing with it, looking it in the face, and then also kind of interrogating that and realizing ultimately that it doesn't serve you if it's inhibiting you in this way. This will enable you to go forward enjoying your life a lot more if you deal with that. So that is one thing when it comes to the fifth house and Pluto in the fifth house is you're very likely going to want to dig that up and address it because it's just going to make life a lot more fun after that. So a major focus on authentic self-expression. And again, that psychological impact of open expression, making a habit of expressing yourself quite openly can build up that kind of psychological muscle there where any sort of inhibitions that have been frustrating to you are worked through by the sheer effort of creating new habits along those lines and allowing for that to prove to you that those inhibitions are not serving you. Another way to utilize this is, releasing limitations on your creativity. So authentic expression, authentic creativity, any sort of boxes or lines that you feel like you need to stay within when it comes to your own creativity, releasing those limitations because they're holding you back from authentic expression, authentic creativity. This is also very likely to transform your relationships with your children. It can also have a transformative effect on your children themselves. So your children would likely to be changing quite a bit and experiencing very new things within their lives under this transit. And that would also play out within your relationship with them. And this could become a deepening of your relationship with them, especially, if you are studying any sort of inhibitions that have come from your own childhood. If you're able to share some of what you have learned along those lines with your own children to contribute also to their ability to express themselves openly and creatively, that would be very likely to deepen those relationships with your children, to deepen that trust, and to make that relationship all the more healthy. Additionally, if you are engaging in any sort of kind of casual romantic relationships, but this could also play out with creative or not creative. I wasn't even looking at that word, so I'm not sure where that came from. Committed is the word that I was looking for, relationships as well. Romantic relationships in particular are likely to become a lot more intense. You could also see friendships become a lot more intense in terms of the emotional and psychological depth. Now, if you are dating, a Pluto transit to your fifth will definitely be asking you to be not hyper aware, but effectively aware of red flags and how they play out, any sort of codependencies, any sort of power games, and things like this that can play out in relationships. You would really want to keep your eyes open for that, understand the signs of those. I will plug again, as I always will. Dr. Ramani is really good. She's on YouTube. She teaches this quite well, how to look for those things, because those could become issues that you wind up encountering in one or another relationship going forward if you are dating, for instance. Now, additionally, with this having to do with your creativity as well, you could wind up finding innovative new mediums that enable you to express yourself more deeply or more comfortably. You may be changing up the way that you engage creatively. Especially if you're an artist, your work is very, very likely to go through a major transformation. Additionally, if you, for instance, run a business that is based on your own productive work, like you create something, even if it is not a physical, tangible object, but it's something that you create, that is likely to go through a major transformation as well. It's likely to be good. It's not likely to be some sort of disastrous situation unless there's something like crazy going on. But Pluto in Aquarius in the fifth, in and of itself, if you are someone who produces work and that's your job, it's likely to take that into deeper levels as well as new innovative levels. So keeping your mind open along those lines would be very beneficial to you, especially if this is feeding your income. But additionally, a deepening of inspiration. So your inspirations may become a little bit more interesting and innovative. You naturally have Aquarius on the 5th if you are a Libra rising listening to this. So your own inspirations are likely to be relatively innovative, and you're likely to have a pretty open mind when it comes to that anyway. But this would be kind of deepening that authenticity, that individuality, that what you bring to the table that no one else can provide, because this is an aspect of you that you're bringing and that you're kind of infusing into your own work. So a much more authentic and deeper inspiration that would also be infusing itself into your work as well. You may also begin a physical training regimen or like a health exercise oriented regimen that would wind up being extraordinarily beneficial to your health and would very likely be quite deeply enjoyable and satisfying and fulfilling. But yeah, I think that's most of what I have for Libra rising.